Hello race fans, and welcome to the latest roundup brought to you by SIM-onTV of Round 6 of the Assetto Corsa GT3 Championship, hosted at United Racers League. We're heading back to Europe for Round 6, once again visiting the British Isles. This time we're at Donington Park, often described as the heart of British motorsport. We're going racing for 38 laps and conditions are expected to be foggy, so visibility will certainly be hampered. Only 12 corners make up a lap of this 4-kilometre circuit, and with its short straights and fast and flowing nature, many believe the Camaro's domination may be temporarily halted here at Donington Park. Let's have a look how the Drivers' Championship stands with just 3 rounds left in Season 3, and as you can see it's fairly close between the top two, with Florian holding an 8-point lead over Robert. Mihaville and Toni may be too far back for either of them to challenge for the title, but the battle for that third place looks like it's going to be tasty. It's Pannonia Racing Team that are looking strong at the head of the team's championship, the 2 Camaro drivers scoring consistently well all season. With just 3 races left, it's crucial for both drivers of a team to be on the grid to give maximum scoring potential. Driver no-shows could cost dear as teams look to finish the season as high as possible. Let's check out some action as Toni Ukic takes us round his lap that put him on pole position at Donington.
So, here we are, starting our qualifying lap at Donington. Look for a good exit out of the last corner and onto the start-finish straight. A good exit will help you get a better lap time. Move the car on the left-hand side. Use all of the track available. Brake on the pit exit and downshift into third. Look for late apex. Use all of the curbing both on the inside and the outside. Now we go downhill on the run to the old hairpin. The track is very narrow here, so use all of the track available. Get the curb on the inside and brake as you allow the car to drift wide. Into fourth, throw the car on the inside, use all of the curbing on the outside but not too much, it's easy to overshot the corner. Move the car to the right to get a wider entrance into McLean's. Brake by the board, down into third, clip the apex, ride the curb and prepare the car for turn 8. This is a tricky one. Turn in and brake as soon as you see the apex into third. Don't go wide and keep the car under control. The rear wants to step out here. Now take a breather as you prepare for the final slickstep. The Nissan is very good here, so we need to nail it. Brake just before the dark line and cut through the first part. Don't overdo it as it will upset the car. Now we go over the crest into the penultimate corner. This is the slowest point on track. A good front will help here as you turn and brake at the same time. Feel the rear fighting for grip as we go over the crest once again for the last corner. The last corner is a very tricky one off camber and the car will want to understeer. We need to keep it tidy to get a good lap time. Get the curb on the inside and watch the rear end on the outside, it will want to step out. Now it's a run to the line and it will be pole position for round number 6.
So it was Croatian Toni Ukic that took pole here at Donington, the only man breaking 1:28 Pepin Reinhard in the dying stages of qualifying. Championship leader Florian was the highest Camaro driver in P3, while Serb Nikola Simic lined up beside him in 4th. The 2 Team 87 drivers of Simon and Mitchell started on row 3, followed by Manlio 7th and the 2 Pannonia Racing Team drivers of Peter and Robert in 8th and 9th. 2 Nissans of Gregory and Voyer were in 10th and 11th, with Greg, Sandow and Ivan completing the grid. So we're ready to go racing at Donington Park. Let's get down to the grid and watch the action unfold. The drivers are on the grid and we're all set to start round 6. Toni and Paul on the left and it's Reinhard on the right. It's go 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 and they both appear to get a good start off the line. The 2 green Ferraris look like they've both made a good start. There's a white Audi slow off the mark on the right, but it looks like Reinhard and Toni are side by side as they head down into turn 1. Let's take a look at the action from the rear of the grid as we ride with the number 41 car of Ivan Gridello. Not a bad start, but Alex Scott in the Mercedes comes storming by. Into turn 1 and we can see that Toni has kept his lead over Reinhard at the front. Oh, there's been a collision through turn 1 as the centre lock Audi spins off onto the grass. Alex and Robert look like they were caught up in the incident too. Ivan's also managed to take advantage of a slow Nissan. Through the old hairpin and there's a whole gaggle of cars jostling for position. Mitchell and Peter side by side under the bridge. The Dalmatia GT Nissan of Forve right there too. What's a slight contact there as the Australian manages to hold the position. Up ahead it's the other Dalmatia GT car of Toni Ukic that leads coming out of Coppice, with Reinhard looking to attack down the Dunlop straight. Out of the fog they appear, and it's a German looking at the inside into the S's, but thinks better of it at this early stage of the race. As we approach the Melbourne hairpin for the first time, it's now Florian looking to attack Berger, though the Ferrari has a favourable inside line and is able to hold the position. As we complete lap 1, it's Toni from Reinhard from Florian, Simon in 4th, then it's Manlio, Mitchell, Peter, Voyer. 9th is between Greg and Sando, then it's Gregory and Even, with Alex, Nicola and Robert recovering from their earlier offs. Simon in 4th, down into the old hairpin. Oh, onto the curb which slides the car and the brick can't catch it and spins off, narrowly missing Manlio, and has a nasty impact with a wall. Mitchell and Manlio tussle through McLean's. As we look back, Mitch goes a little wide, allowing Peter through on the inside into Coppice. With Nikolai now, as he looks to get by the damaged Ferrari, and completes the pass into the S's. The front 3 starting to pull a gap. Down into Redgate, it's Peter sizing up Manlio. On board with Alex now in the Mercedes, who has a good exit off Redgate and is able to pull past the Audi of Ivan through the Craner curves. Looking back from Nikolai, there's a car in the sand and a fast approaching Ferrari. Simon looks to the inside through Schwantz, but backs off into McLean's. Oh, and it looks like Simon's taken a hit from the Camaro driver. This is a battle for 4th between Manlio, Peter, Mitch and Foyer. Up into Coppice, and it looks like the other Team 87 driver has suffered the same fate. Foyer fairly waits for Mitchell to recover, but Greg in the BMW steals both places. Greg up to 6th, with Gregory closing in. Robert, having waited for Simon, reclaims the position into the S's and is followed through by Ivan. The battle for 6 heads round Goddard's to complete lap 4. We exit the old hairpin on board with Hungarian Peter Abelovsky, under the bridge and under the wing of the Lamborghini, the Italian under serious pressure as we head through Schwantz. Peter with good drive out of McLean's, but Manlio's fighting hard on the run up to Coppice. Wow, so close, and the Grasser Racing Team Lambo keeps ahead. Nikolai, working his way back through the field after his first corner incident, takes P11 from Sando. Sando, the only Belgium Audi team driver here today, as Miguel unfortunately picked up an injury. On board the 333 Ferrari, as Mitchell tries to work away around the gritty Englishman, Greg. Not many overtaking opportunities here, so the Australian may well have to play the waiting game, although mistakes from Greg are as rare as rocking horse shit. There's a spinner, it's Alex in the Merc, another victim of the old hairpin, and is inches away from a massive collision with Sando. The Audi gets a bit loose at the exit of Coppice, which presents Simon the chance of a pass down the Dunlop straight, which he takes and is up to P13. Can he get his race back on track from here? The battle for 4th enters Goddard's at the end of lap 5. Peter's got too close and hits Manlio and spins a Lamborghini into the tyre barrier. Disaster for the Italian, who will end up losing 6 places from the incident. Down into T1, the Pannonia racing driver continues and has Gregory close on his tail. A little messy out of Redgate, and the MRS GT Racing Nissan attacks through the Craner curves. There's only one line through here and contact is inevitable. Gregory is forced off track but manages to rejoin quickly. At the front, it's still Toni and Reinhard who are slowly easing away from Florian. It's the 2 Nissans of Frenchman Gregory and Croatian Foyer that are locked in battle down the Dunlop Straight. Foyer looking to take 7th under braking into the S's, but the Croatian outbrakes himself and takes a trip into the sand. The 488 of Simon Fillingham looking to get some good laps in. Oh, runs a bit wide on the exit of McLean's, and once again takes a trip into the grass and another spin. This is turning out to be a disaster for Simon. So lap 7, it's Toni for Dalmatia GT who continues to lead from Reinhard for Kessler Racing. The Reiter Engineering Camaro of Florian in 3rd. Further back is Greg in 4th, Mitchell, Peter, Gregory and Hoyer. We pick up the fight for 13th now, as Alex has a good exit off the final corner. Down the straight, and Alex will look to attack into turn 1, and there he goes, even offering little resistance. Riding with Peter as he looks up the inside into Melbourne. Mitch has a wider exit, giving Abelovsky the chance to pull level on the run up to Goddard's. But Mitch defends well into the hairpin and keeps the Pannonia Racing guy behind. The battle rages out of Redgate and through the Craner curves. The cars emerge out the fog as they roar down to the fast right. Through Schwantz and up to McLean's, Peter is hounding the 333. We cut back to Simon, who makes an early pit stop on lap 11 for some fresh rubber and damage repair. Back to the battle for 4th, and the racing continues to be close. Greg goes defences out of the S's on the run down to the Melbourne hairpin. And we see from Peter it's enough to keep Mitch at bay. Up to Goddard's now, and the Hungarian is attacking at the hairpin. The Camaro power sliding on exit, trying to get a good drive. The Audi and the Merc shoot out of the fog as they head down Dunlop Straight. Through the S's, and the Italian yields to the pursuing Alex. Lap 13, and there's still nothing between the front two guys. Florian's dropped a little further back, but still has a comfortable 30-second gap back to 4th. Back to that battle, and it's very tight into Melbourne. Once again, Peter gets his nose up the inside, but Mitch seems to get a better exit and is able to outdrag the Camaro up to Goddard's. Peter stays wide, hoping to make the undercut on exit. Down to Redgate, and Peter dives down the inside under braking. But the Aussie hangs on around the outside and into the Craner curves. Nikolai Simic now catching the battle for 4th. Two Audis close together towards the back of the field, and Sando heads into the pits on lap 14. On board the BMW of 4th place Greg Metcalf now, as we ride through the fast Craner curves and down to the old hairpin. And there's drama behind as the corner takes yet another victim, with Mitchell losing his Ferrari and veering off onto the grass, handing Peter P5. The Camaro and the Audi have now closed right up on Greg for the battle for P4. Down to Melbourne, and again the Englishman goes defensive into the corner. Peter looks to have run wide, giving Nikolai a look up the inside. Mitch looking to get back in the hunt. On the run up the hill, the Camaro is able to pull back in front. Peter dives off into the pits on lap 16, still 3 laps until half distance. The Team 87 car of Mitch also decides to service his car. Serb Nikolai now all over the back of the BMW through Coppice. Simic has been quick all week, and it would have been interesting to see what had happened if it wasn't for that incident at the first corner. Through the S's, and Greg is taking what is becoming his accustomed line down to the hairpin. Metcalf defends well, but Nikolai is going for the undercut. Again, Greg defending valiantly, hugging the inside line into Goddard's. They exit the hairpin, and the Serb has good drive to attack down the straight. Side by side heading into Redgate, and it's Nikolai who hangs it out round the outside and takes the position from Greg. A great move from Simic there. Lap 19, and there's action again at Redgate. This time it's Manlio Liguori taking advantage of a small mistake by Voyer and manages to get past and up to 6th. We're back to the leaders as they exit Goddard's, and they both make the pits at the end of lap 20. Florian also pits from P3. As we watch pit lane, this may be Reinhardt's only chance to jump Toni in the race. The fog's restricting some action in the pits. And it's the Nissan of Toni who just gets out ahead again of Reinhardt. They rejoin ahead of Nikolai as Kurtz also exits the pits. On board with Voyer now as he tries to reclaim the position he recently lost to Manlio. The Croatian gets so close to the Lambo as they negotiate Redgate. Out of coppice now and they're side by side heading down the straight. Manlio drifts into Voyer in the braking zone and gets himself in a wobble, but keeps control although losing the position. Lap 22, and after the majority of pit stops it's as you were between Greg and Mitchell. Greg not feeling the need to defend just yet. The next lap though, and Mitch has closed up, giving Greg little choice other than to cover the inside. The Australian once again alongside as they brake for the hairpin. Greg keeps it tidy and leaves the Ferrari no glimmer of hope. A Nissan and a Ferrari appear out of the fog, which must mean it's our leaders Toni and Reinhardt. Up towards Goddard's, and I think we're in the Camaro of Robert Horvath, who is starting to catch the dicing duo ahead. Oh yes, it's definitely Robert, into the S's where Mitch closes up significantly and has to back out a little to avoid hitting the BMW. That gives Robert the opportunity to pressure the 333 down to the hairpin. Greg takes a more conventional line around Melbourne as we watch the action behind. Mitchell shows Robert his rear end as they head up the hill. The Hungarian won't be giving up though, and the three drivers are locked together. A good exit from the right puts Horvath right on the gearbox of the Ferrari. But this time gives the Team 87 car some room into McLean's. Down into Melbourne, Greg defends his position. Mitchell trails round the outside, which leaves a door open up the inside for Robert. Mitch cuts back inside and the Ferrari and Camaro collide. Into the final few laps now, it's Peter and Nikolai that have spent most of the second stint within a second or two of each other. Reinhardt looks to have gained slightly on Toni. Can he find a way past in the closing stages? The Centilock Audi of Nikolai still harassing Peter's Camaro. Will backmarker Simon play a part in any overtake between them? They're certainly closing in. Into Goddard's they come, and Sando wishes to play no part in the race behind. Back to the leaders as they head up the rise into Coppice. Toni looks to have run a little wide and gets his wheel onto the verge, which is enough for Berger to take the lead at this late stage of the race. What happened to Toni? Was it a technical issue or a lack of concentration, which seems unlikely having drove a faultless race up until now? As the drivers complete lap 32 of 38, it's Greg in 7th with Mitchell closing in once again on the Brit. Maybe Greg will crack from all the pressure he's been under. Robert's still close enough to pick up any pieces in 9th. Then comes the green Lamborghini of Manlio, followed by Gregory Olivier. Nikolai still under the rear wing of the Camaro, ducking and diving in an attempt to force an error out of the Hungarian. Out of Coppice, and Simon's Ferrari continues to stay in front of them. Surely he should be moving over. On board the Audi now, but Nikolai unable to make any significant advantage down the straight. Closes up under braking though, and struggles to get it stopped and runs a little wide, giving Peter some valuable breathing space. The battle for 9th has also been a close one this second stint, but Manlio is managing to keep the Nissan of Olivier behind. Mitch must be sick of the sight of that BMW in front. Greg just hasn't given him a sniff all race. Up into Goddard's, the Ferrari goes deep, trying desperately to get a good drive off the hairpin. That looks pretty good. Does Mitch have a chance into T1? He's certainly gained slightly, but it's still not enough to find a way around the outside of Metcalf. Gregory now looks set for a finish behind Manlio. But the Italian veers off to the pits, which must be for a drive-through penalty. Nicolai's still looming large in the mirrors. Melbourne once again. No way through once again. Out of Redgate. Through the Craner curves. Down into the old hairpin. Time is fast running out for the Aussie. Riding with Manlio after his stop. Oye's Nissan in front. This is for position. The Croat slightly offline heading to the right, which gives Manlio his chance, but Oye holds on. Last lap now. It looks like Peter's got it. It's the same for Greg, just a few corners left for a job well done. Reinhard Berger, who comes through to take his first win of the season for the Kessel Racing team. The German having capitalised on Tony's off, who will surely be disappointed to miss out on the win here at Donington. An uneventful drive for the Reiter Engineering driver Florian Kurtz as he brings his Camaro over the line in third place. A lap behind, but the battle for 10th is going to the final corner. Voyer on the inside, Manlio on the outside, but the Nissan goes way too hot into the hairpin and goes off onto the grass, handing Manlio 10th place. After an eventful race, Voyer will finish in 11th. Alex Scott, making a rare start, will finish 11th in his Mercedes. Let's hope we see Alex on the grid for the final two races. It's Season 2 champ Peter Abolowski who holds on to 4th place in front of Nicholas Simic in the Audi. Simon finishes well back in 13th. But there's been no way past for Mitchell. Greg brings his BMW home to a hard-fought 6th place. Mitchell will be no doubt frustrated with 7th. So it was Season 1 champ Reinhard Berger who took the flag in round 6 at Donington. Second was Toni Ukic after leading the race for 34 laps. Third place went to Florian Kurtz. Sando and Even were non-finishers. Robert's 8th place finish means he loses ground on championship leader Florian, who extends his lead to 23 points. Tony's 2nd place means he's now just 8 points behind Robert, but what may be a crucial factor is that the Hungarian has no weight for the next round. Pannonia Racing extend their lead at the top, despite not having the best results. With Reiter Engineering only managing to get one driver on the grid, they're fighting a losing battle in challenging for the title. But look at the battle for 3rd place. 3 teams within 10 points, including Dalmatia GT, who were today's top scorers, and all capable of claiming that 3rd spot. It's sure to be an enthralling last couple of races. Round 7 takes us to the Red Bull Ring in Austria, and with just 2 races left, all honours are still up for grabs. Join us at United Racers League to be part of the action, and subscribe to SIM-onTV for the best sim racing coverage of the best sim racing league.